Hi guys, welcome back to Just Browsing. Today we're having our first article spotlight with Alex Ennabi here, and she wrote an article in our magazine George for FBA, which is this great magazine we make every year, and she wrote an article. So please tell us what it's about and give us a little introduction of yourself.
Sure. Hi, my name is Alex, and I wrote an article on Middle Eastern influence on fashion. So I talked a little bit about how growing up, I didn't see much representation of Middle Eastern people in media. So I wanted to spotlight the amazing Middle Eastern designers there are. So I talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's great. I read the article. It's absolutely beautiful. We'll have a link down below for you guys to read the article because it's great, and I think it highlights a lot of important topics on Middle Eastern fashion that aren't usually talked about. So I think it's a great read for anyone that's interested in Middle Eastern fashion or just anyone that wants to learn more about it. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Can you tell me your favorite designer and why? It doesn't have to be Middle Eastern, but just overall favorite designer.
Oh, that one's really hard. Well, I think I'm gonna stay like in Middle Eastern realm. I think recently I've been loving Mariam Yahia. Well,
Okay.
she goes by like Miss Keepa. That's like her brand. Um, she just has really cool like eccentric designs, and she really emphasizes like the clothes I make is like what she would wear, and yeah, and she's just like a cool, like she's just like an it girl, and I
Yeah.
just like love her.
What is your style? Like, what's the style you usually go for or trends you usually go for?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I change my mind every like minute, and I feel like she kind of like Miriam's kind of like that. So I feel like she keeps me engaged with like bold, different, unique
I like
designs.
that.
Yeah.
Well, red is definitely your color, so I'm
Oh,
loving this
thank
look on
you.
you.
Thanks.
I read in your article that you talk about Rami Kashau. Beautiful. I think he's a great designer. And also, I watched a clip from Project Runway on
Yes.
YouTube, and it was so good. He's so funny. Do you have any favorites from his design? And can you tell the audience what differentiates Palestinian designs from other Middle Eastern trends and styles?
Okay, sure. Oh my God, his gowns are just like so beautiful. But I think maybe my favorite design, I feel like it has to be his Project Runway like
It's
final
beautiful.
collection. It was so
Yeah.
beautiful, like his craftsmanship and just like the drama of it. I loved, and I love his use of like Palestinian embroidery because he's Palestinian.
Right.
And the second half was
Like, could you give the audience an example or trends and styles that differentiate Palestinian styles from other Middle Eastern styles?
oh yeah. So I feel like Palestinian style, like it always like tells a story, like back to embroidery, like every pattern's like unique, and it really shows like heritage, identity, and like resistance, and just like being Palestinian. So it's just really beautiful to look at.
Yeah, I think also in like not even only Middle Eastern styles, but I think a lot of like Asian styles in general, they have a lot of designs that use like icons, and I think that's really cool. Like, I don't know, I just like really, it's giving petroglyphs on clothing, and I love that.
Yes, so beautiful.
But in like the addition of talking about trends and styles, is there a trend or a style that's specifically Middle Eastern that you want to see make a comeback, or one that's already very popular in the Middle East that you'd love to bring to other places in the world?
Well, actually, right now I'm taking an Arab film class.
Ooh,
So
fun.
I'm watching a bunch of like old Arab films, and I'm seeing like all these old like Egyptian actresses, and they have like that look of, like the thin eyebrows, the like silk scarf, big sunglasses, like beautiful like jewelry, like statement jewelry. So I'd love to see that come back, kind of just that like old movie
That'd
vibe.
be really fun.
Yeah.
I like that. Do you wear glasses?
Like sunglasses?
Yeah, no, like glasses. Like, do you wear glasses
Oh.
in general?
I do.
You do? Do you like the bigger lenses or the smaller lenses?
Oh, On myself, I think I like bigger lenses, but I love like the little
Yeah.
glasses.
They're very chic, but I think the bigger ones are cuter. Like I always go for the bigger ones rather than
Yeah.
the smaller ones. I don't know why. You mentioned a few Middle Eastern influenced styles in fashion, such as wearing like the jeans under skirts and dresses and the embroidery. Do you have a specific favorite Middle Eastern trend?
I love when people mix like kind of Western styles with like traditional like Arab
Yeah.
fashion. Like who pops into my mind is Eliana. She's like a singer and she rocks like henna and like the gold jewelry and coins and
Yeah.
like the evil eye, but then she puts it into her own style, which I love. So it's like tradition mixed with like her own
Modern.
style.
Yeah, I
Yes,
like
I
that.
love that.
I read in your article that you talk about the balaclava
Yeah.
and how it can definitely be like an appropriation.
Mhm.
But you take both sides of it in your article. You talk about how it can be an appropriation, how a lot of people have taken it in with open arms. What is your stance on that?
So I think my issue with it is designers will, say it's theirs and not use like Muslim representation or just
Right.
like Middle Eastern representation at all. But I do think it's getting better. Like I was just talking about Eliana. She
Yeah.
was in a Coach campaign recently for Ramadan. So it's
that's
cool
sick.
to now see more representation. There's still like obviously like a long way to go.
100%.
But it's cool to start
Yeah.
seeing that happen.
And that was crazy. She wrote about this thing. You'll read the article, obviously, when we link it. But you talk about how Gucci was putting people in hijabs, but then not having any like Islamic women as their models. How do you feel about that? Like, do you see that a lot in more Western trends and brands, or do you see that everywhere in the world?
Well, I definitely see it in Western, like not even just fashion, like you'll see it in movies, like they'll have, a Middle Eastern character, but not cast an actor who's Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very common. So
What step do you want to take towards rehabilitating something like that?
a step like I just more like representation
Yeah.
and just like discovering new like Middle Eastern people. There's so much talent in the world.
Totally agree.
Especially like Middle Eastern people.
Right.
So just seeing more of that and not just the same thing over and over again because it gets boring.
It does, 100%. I'm already bored. So what are your favorite examples of this evolution in like how you were talking about your icon artist where they wear very like ethnic clothing but then also add like a modern touch to it? How do you do that in your everyday life and like what do you want to see more of?
So I think I take influence in myself with that. Like I like to, I have my normal style, but then I like to wear like gold jewelry. Like I wear the evil eye a lot or just like jewelry my grandma passed down to me. So it's like I have that little touch of like heritage and my identity with me at all times. But like, it's like a mix of my like American identity, but then also like identity from Jordan. I didn't mention, but I'm Jordanian.
Yes,
so.
she is. And you'll read that if you read the article. Do you have any trends that you hate from the Middle East?
Oh, wow.
I think far too much we talk about like when we're trying to represent something, especially when I talk about like Asian culture, I'm like, oh no, I love everything, this and that, but we're never talking about like things we don't like. So what's something you don't like?
I can't think of anything I don't like, honestly. No, I can't think of anything.
Good, honestly, pride as fuck. Do you have, who's your favorite fashion icon, but not designer from the Middle East that you think represents the Middle East very well? Obviously, that's like such a hard question because the Middle East is like thousands of different countries, but who would you say is like your favorite representative?
My like personal favorite?
Yeah.
Not designer.
Not designer.
I just think music. I think music is such a big part of Middle Eastern culture. A lot of other cultures too. I think of like Fairuz. Like I listen to her all the time.
I've never heard of her.
She's like beautiful voice, and I think, you know, she's Lebanese, but I think a lot of the Arab countries and Middle Eastern countries love listening to her. So
okay, you have to send her to me. I'm going to listen.
Definitely.
Wait, I love that. That's so fun. Well, I think that's it for our article spotlight, but we're so glad we had you on here, and I hope everyone reads your article, and the pictures were phenomenal. So thank you for coming on. Do you have any last words?
No, just thank you for having me. This is such a good conversation.
Thank you. Bye, guys.